I mean, he's one of the best minds in the game, right? What do you think was behind the Niners' lack of big plays and how they can improve?
Yeah, I wouldn't blame scheme as
Right.
Kyle does. To me, it's just a lack of space, and a lot of that had to do with the receiver injuries, which is also how you had the lack of explosive receptions as well. Christian McCaffrey led the team, pardon me, in catches, not surprising, but he had almost twice as many as the next wide receiver was Juwan Jennings, who is not a downfielder. He's a great receiver, working in the middle of the field, really tough, but he's not a deep threat. So now you're looking at a group with Mike Evans as your X receiver. They signed Christian Kirk to play in the slot, and Ricky Pearsall slots into what I feel is his natural place is the Z. And to me, when I think about the Niners being explosive, Pearsall's health could be massive in that regard because when he is healthy, he has a ton of juice. Ran a 4.4, great long speed, fantastic hands as well, catching downfield. He just got to play the entire season. But if he does, that's someone I would look to help make this passing attack more explosive.
All right, we'll keep an eye.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, to me, the foundation of it all was clearly injuries with the 49ers. I think that's a pretty no-brainer. Not only with receivers and whatnot, but then also with kind of having Brock Purdy and Mac Jones and a lot it's hard to kind of get that momentum, to kind of get that rhythm of the offense. And so yeah, I'm not going to put it on the shoulders of Kyle Shanahan cause Shanahan's kind of saying oh, he looks at scheme first. Which I appreciate him saying that, obviously. And then some of the issue with just kind of trying to buy extra time on the edge to be able to get those big plays opened up. But I do think that the 49ers do rely heavily on Christian McCaffrey for not only the explosive plays but then also all the other little workhorse plays. And as amazing as Christian McCaffrey is, and especially how amazing Shanahan is at maximizing a Christian McCaffrey, it's still going to have its limits. You're going to wear that down. And also teams are they're aware of that, right? They're aware of that aspect to the 49ers where I feel like potentially in years past it was just oh my gosh, how do we stop? Like you're just trying to figure out, how do we slow this down? How do we stop this? What do we do? And it was just well, if you can't spread the wealth enough then you're not really going to be able to even maximize that. That was the whole thing obviously Nick and company would always be oh, the Avengers, the Avengers, the Avengers. And the way I felt the 49ers operated, and this is because of the roster, it's because of Shanahan, etc. But they were such a perfect example of just becoming the greater than the sum of their parts, right? That it was just that when you had all the pieces together it was just through the roof. And not all teams are like that, honestly. So not all teams are like that where if you remove a player, sometimes they have a great roster and if you remove one of the players, you can still be a great roster, still be a great team, can still lot of win. But it's just the magic really comes together when you have everyone. When you have everyone there, when everyone's there, it's just you don't it's you don't even know what we're about to do here, man. You ain't seen nothing yet. And I think Shanahan and these 49ers teams were just perfect examples of that. And I think they did it year after year in different variations, but definitely over the last couple of years, even when Christian McCaffrey is now, gets injured in, was that 24 then going into 25, you see that reliance on it. And there was never many opportunities to show you when I have all the pieces I get to show you that we are truly greater than the sum of our parts. This is multiplication. And, not addition here. And as resilient and as impressive as I think the 49ers have been, especially with their injuries it's because of there's a heavy reliance on Christian McCaffrey. And that's why we even saw in 24 when Christian McCaffrey wasn't there, the red zone success rate plummeted. You could see that there was not that resiliency. There was no resiliency there. And I do think it's Shanahan's evolving as a coach, and I think, again, I think he did a significantly better job dealing with some of the injuries this year than he did in 24, this past year. It's always kind of confusing. This past year compared to 2024, but again, it was still very Christian McCaffrey-centric. And I think when that is just your absolute ultimate nucleus, which is great to have, don't get me wrong, it's going to be a little bit harder I think for Kyle to be able to consistently set up these more explosive plays until he has the Avengers, until you have the right bodies in the right spots at the right time. Then, again, I think you could probably make the argument that Shanahan's probably the best coach right now at the effect that I'm talking about of just this kind of multiplying, this synergy of it all. He might not be the most resilient coach when it comes to it. I think that's where like Andy, right? Andy is absolutely brilliant. We've seen this throughout the course of his entire career, right? Just making something out of nothing consistently. And again, don't get me wrong, Kyle Shanahan has some of that skill. So we even saw it against the Philadelphia Eagles in the playoffs and whatnot. And so like I'm not trying to take that away from the 49ers or Shanahan, but it's just not what makes him be able to really be the great coach and the great offense that we know. I think Kyle's probably just the best at just when you give him the right pieces, he's so good at maximizing it to just mind-numbing levels. I think that's what it honestly gets boiled down to more than anything. And then you're hoping that when you add a Mike Evans like that, again, it's like you don't now have to try to use Mike Evans as a workhorse or Christian McCaffrey as a workhorse. Like it's just when you have the right pieces, again, Ricky Pearsall, etc. And if Purdy can stay healthy as well, you're just kind of again in this situation where it's just like I'm going to be able to do so much motion, so much misdirection, such variety that it's just going to open up the door in ways that, and now I'm speaking as if I'm Kyle Shanahan, that I can consistently just hit that button. I can consistently take advantage of you not understanding, what we're going to do and when we're going to do it. So yeah. Can everyone stay healthy? Can everyone, and I don't even know when Kittle's coming back, like what the story is with all of that. Can Mike Evans stay healthy? Can Christian McCaffrey stay healthy again for another season? Like it's all up in the air. It's all it is, right? I mean, that's obvious. That's been an unfortunate constant for the 49ers. That's hardly breaking news. But it is kind of frustrating. I think it Kyle Shanahan clears throat, we talk about this now and here with like quarterbacks how we're just like, this quarterback's so good. We just need him to have a great wide receiver. Without a great wide receiver, we can't really see how great of a passer he is, right? And I feel that that's where Shanahan is, right? When he has his Avengers, however you want to define them. I know usually people use that in a way to like bring down Purdy. I'm obviously not using it in that way in that regard, but it's just when he's got the bodies he just has such an amazing, it's beautiful, honestly. It's just absolutely an incredible ability to just send those guys to the moon, man. Send those guys to the moon in ways where you're just like, this is brilliant. And you can see it, in the interview where he's talking about where he's like, this is the lowest we've been with explosive plays. And it's just you could just see the pain because you're taking away what makes him brilliant, what makes him special, his brand of special from a coaching perspective. He just does it so well. And we haven't really been able to see that in this moment. So I don't know if it'll be able to change it. To me, it all comes down to health, and I think that's a given. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the 49ers, their ability to kind of get back to a more explosive offense? Do you think that's even really that important in this, modern era of football right now? The pendulum's always swinging, always swinging. Preliminary thoughts. I read every single comment. Some of you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up cause it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.